What do you think?
I think you look incredibly trim. You're 47 now?
47.
47.
And you? You look great yourself.
I'm 71. You're way to go.
Wow.
You're way to go. And I'm not playing tennis.
No.
Still playing a bit of cricket, but not...
Really?
Yes. But you won't know anything about that.
You work out still? No, I know cricket.
Yeah, I go to the gym and things.
Viv Richards was my favorite, and Ian Botham. So that's, I'm dating myself.
Ian Botham was very much your kind of guy, your kind of man.
He sure is.
So 47 years still playing on the seniors tour?
They still pay me to play there. Yeah.
they,
they pay me, you know, the old line is I used to get fined when I yelled at the officials. Now I get fined if I don't. Which is a pretty good gig.
You obviously love it still.
I would find out, Michael, if I loved it when I didn't get paid to do it. I have a feeling. But I think I love it.
Of course you do. You're trying to do it like
it's nice to make a living being a professional athlete.
But more than that, too. I mean, you created kind of the stuff of theatre, too, when you went on into an arena. I mean, that was what was exciting about your particular era at Wimbledon.
Well, I was taught well. Nastasi gave me a couple tricks. Connors, you know, taught me well, and we went at it, and it was a great time to be in tennis.
It was a wonderful time. Can I give you a quote, which I came across in the research?
Let me guess. You cannot be serious!
No. Well, it's something like that, actually.
I had to get that out of the way.
But and we've got more coming up, let me tell you, on film. But the Observer said of you...
Can you do that, by the way? I'm guessing...
I was going to do that if you hadn't.
OK. Well, thank God I did it.
I love this shirt with the crosses. You couldn't wear that on British Airways, you know that?
I didn't, no.
John McEnroe has done more to rid this country of the forces of conservatism than Tony Blair. First he transformed Wimbledon, and now the BBC. The Observer, no less, said that of you. What I want to know is, did you see yourself as a class warrior when you came over?
Well, actually, when I was first here in '77 was sort of the time that punk exploded here. And I walked down the King's Road quite often, and I thought that was a pretty freaky scene. And compared to what that was, which seemed to be pretty out there, what I did on the court seemed tame, but people sort of viewed me in sort of this punk rock type of attitude.
Well, it wasn't tame for Wimbledon, that's the point. I mean, Wimbledon, sir. What did you make of Wimbledon? You were lads from Queens, eh? When you went to New York and when you went to Wimbledon for the first time.
It was a little unusual for me.
How unusual?
Yeah, it was. Well, Dan Maskell was there. You respected Dan Maskell, right?
Much so.
It's a gem of a return. So there was it was. Maybe I should let you do the impressions.
Carry on.
But living in New York, there's a. If you go to the airport, right, and you get in a taxi and you say, I'd like to go to Manhattan, you're lucky if 10 people don't call you an asshole by the time you get to your house, right? And so there's a lot of energy there. Let's say that when I came here, I brought up an Irish American. My parents, you know, my father always used to say to me, he said, John, listen, you don't need to do that stuff. You're better than these guys. Just go out there and play. But he said it this way, you don't need to do this stuff. You're better than these guys. So to me, it was natural.
But let's be reminded, then, of you. Your pride.
Oh, you're going to show... Oh,
I'm going to show them. This is great drama and comedy. Have a look at this.
It was clearly in. How can you possibly call that out? How many you can miss? Now he's walking over. Everyone knows it's in this whole stadium, and you call it out? Explain that, will you?
The linesman called a fault because the ball was on this side of the court.
The chalk came on, it doesn't matter.
No, the very fact that there is a spread of chalk, as you can see, Mr. McEnroe.
Is that...
If the people here would like, I happen to have those shorts on under here. And I'd like a wig, if possible, because that hair was all right.
The shorts were something, weren't they, eh?
The shorts are outstanding.
They were outstanding.
I wish the male players used them now. I think we'd be better off to be more sort of sex symbol types.
Exactly.
These guys are fitter than ever. They're studs out there, and they're wearing these dumb shorts that go down to your knees.
Yeah, not sexy at all.
I mean, matter of fact, I don't think they should wear shirts. What do you think of that? You know,
well,
you're still doing your thing
no,
so well.
I agree with you. What about the women, though?
I'm gonna. Now, wait a second. I'm gonna. Yeah. Don't get me in trouble. Now, I got in enough trouble over there. I'm on a rare good streak where the Observer said something nice to me.
Absolutely.
That's
It's
incredible.
wonderful, yeah. There's another interesting quote I picked up too about you. You said that you talked about your behaviour once in an interview, and you said that maybe you tried to rationalise what it was that made you angry, made you lose your temper. And he said, maybe because I didn't enjoy competitive tennis.
Did I say I
Well,
didn't?
then you went on to say, by that you meant that you didn't like losing, that was
Oh, well,
the thing
that's
about
different.
it.
That's two different things, yeah. I like competitive tennis. I just don't like the losing part of it. So.
We always like that.
It's like gambling. That's why I quit gambling. I mean, gambling's a scourge in the States. I don't know how bad it is here, but people are losing their homes and leaving their kids in the car, the windows open, going to the casino, and I think that... But I would go there, and if I lost 100 pounds or whatever, I'd be pissed off. So I just was like, forget this, I'm not going to do that. It's bad enough having to go out in a court. You're one-on-one with someone, which is more difficult, I think. It's why I've always felt tennis players are a lot tougher mentally than the other athletes.
Well, on that scene that we saw there, of you having got that, was that before or after the anger management courses?
That was before. I have had many anger management courses that, according to my wife, haven't succeeded. And I've been forced by the courts because of my ex-wife to go to anger management courses, and I've voluntarily gone at other times. And I'm trying, Michael, to make myself a better person.
Are you
And
succeeding?
I'd like to think that I'm succeeding. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit better each day.
But what have you gained from it? What have they told you that's been helpful? I mean, have they gone to the roots of your discontent or what?
I don't, to be honest, I don't really feel like I had that bad an upbringing. I mean, people often wonder and ask, what was it in my upbringing that caused this? And to be honest, I had a normal childhood. I have 2 good parents that love me. I have 2 brothers that are well-adjusted, and I'm the only one that's a little bit out there. And I have no one to blame but myself.
But did they suggest any reason for why you have the anger? Did they say to you, well, it's because of this or because of that?
What do you think?
I wouldn't know, John.
They're stumped themselves.
You've confused them.
Because I'm from New York, or
I don't know.
have Irish blood, or because I'm spoiled, or because I'm so good looking that I have to stick. No, that's fine. No, I don't really have a good answer for that. I think it's. I'd be happy to you guys to weigh in if you think there's ways I can improve myself.
No, I mean, I think...
I'd prefer if Cameron did it when she came out. But
no, I really...
No offense to you guys, but I'd listen more seriously to her.
But I mean, now, of course, we see a different John McEnroe, you see, and that's the point I would make. Because,
well, perhaps I've matured a little bit.
Well, this is the point.
I was 21 or so, 20 years old then.
But you're a respected commentator now. I mean, you fill that Dan Maskell spot.
Well, I think that, no, I didn't fill his shoes. I mean, he's got his own shoes, but I think that BBC was looking to do something different and sort of get into the 21st century with their tennis coverage. And I think that they had high quality people. They had John Barrett, who's just retired. Dan Maskell was great. I enjoyed listening to him. It was different to me, but I thought they would want something more up to date. It's sort of, in a sense, trying to bring some type of, I don't know, the rap music the way it is today, sort of bring that into tennis, sort of. And they've done that. It's not just me. They brought other people in. They brought Boris Becker in.
You see, tennis has gone through a very strange phase, and it's losing out to other sports in terms of the television audience. It hasn't had a really big set of stars. It's got a great player now called Roger Federer, who's as good as you'll ever see. But what is lacking is what is lacking was that what you had with Borg and with Connors was that real sense of rivalry, that real sense of it really mattered on court, mano a mano, eh?
Yeah. Well, the Nadal-Federer thing seems to be percolating a bit, which is good. And
that's great.
And in the women for a few years, the Williams sisters sort of came in. And there seemed to be some real interest, like with Hingis was around, Sellis, Graf at the end of her career. There's people, but then they've all sort of, they started playing each other, which was really strange. Like 2 sisters having to play each other. Yes. I think that took away, and they're injured all the time. It's too tough a schedule, and we do have a real problem with that. I mean, there's no doubt that tennis is hopefully searching for some solutions. We've sort of stayed and try to think that the same old thing would still be succeeding, which I don't think it has. So that's why I respect BBC for giving me a chance and trying to do different things to make the coverage more interesting.
We would also be a lot happier in this country if we had a couple of tennis players who could actually play the game. No,
That's a cheap shot.
no, it's not a cheap shot at all. That's not, you know it's not.
Henman
We last won a Wimbledon in 1936, for God's sake. Come on, I mean, we've been very patient.
That's not that long, is it?
No. It's a year after I was born.
No, Henman was a legit top 10 player, and this new guy, Andy Murray,
He was a legit top 10 player who's never going to win Wimbledon.
Well, he had a chance. He did have one or two real chances. When he lost to Goran Ivanisevic that year, he could have won that.
There was a guy called
Sampras. That was a
around
problem.
the time.
So, the two greatest players that ever lived are Sampras and Federer. So if he came along during those times, it's quite difficult for anyone to pull
Well,
it
what
off.
about Andrew Murray now, who's our great white
Andrew
man?
Murray's going to be in the top 10 by the end of next year, and, whether he can win it all is another story.
Do you think he will?
I hope so. I like him. He's
But
got
if he didn't, what would it be in his makeup that will prevent him from?
that lame sideburns he's got. Sort of. His hair sort of reminds me of myself, so I like that. He's got to get stronger and fitter. That's his main problem.
He's doing that now,
I think
isn't he?
he's got this, and he's got the.
think he's got that,
He's a natural. But, I mean, whether or not he's fit enough, you look at Nadal, he's a brute. He comes out in these cut-off shirts, and he's showing off his guns, and the guys are getting bigger than ever. And so, Murray's a little thin, certainly up top. So
But we seem to lack also, too, going back to what we were talking about before, we seem to lack that kind of competitive killer instinct. We don't care about sport. Politicians, for instance, don't care about sport at all. You take a country like Australia, where there's an imperative on politicians to be sport-minded, they're very good at it.
you can't blame it on the politicians. I mean, listen, I'd love to blame everything on the politicians.
Why
but
not? That's why they're there.
I don't understand. Well, okay. I don't know why you'd blame them for the sports thing, though. That's a bit of a
He plays
stretch.
tennis with Mr. Blair.
Well, no,
He seems to
You
be a
do.
young, vibrant guy that
Yeah.
likes sports. I met him a couple times.
Yeah.
He likes sports.
No, he
The trouble is,
does.
if you play tennis with him now, you get a bill from Lord Levy which says, please pay the Labour Party £1 million. Fair enough. And at the bottom it says, please tick if you'd like a receipt. And then under, please tick if you'd like a peerage. And that's how it works.
Okay.
He's a good tennis player.
He is a good player. I played with him down there. And I think he's been. I mean, I don't know why he supported Bush so much, to be perfectly honest. But that's another story. I know that you have another guest, so you're giving me the eye, like, don't go into that political stuff.
No, not at all.
You're like, stop talking, McEnroe.
I mean, that would be an impossible task to tell
Maybe
you
you
to
can
stop
invite
talking.
me back next time,
Or-
and
or-
we'll talk
and-
politics or
and-
boxing. Because I
what?
know you go way back with Ali and
I
all
do,
those guys.
and
And you remember you interviewed me when my book came out?
I do. I remember that.
I thought you forgot, because you
No.
said nice to meet me just now. So.
John McEnroe, good to have you with us. We look forward to seeing you at Wimbledon. John McEnroe.
Thank you.